All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Marc-Olivier Bordeaux. I'm the marketing specialist at Consortec. And this is the 6th episode of our 7-episode webinar series on FME Server. So thank you, everyone who's been here from the beginning. And welcome to the new attendees. I hope that at this point, you guys have a better idea of all the potential of FME Server, and I also hope that you guys acquire new skills. If it's the first time that you're here, you can watch the recordings of the other episodes online. They're all available on our website. I will post the link in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A section on your left. Note that this webinar will be a bit shorter than the other ones. So make sure you have questions. That's really the advantage of being live on a webinar, is to ask questions, as we can interact, and we'll make this webinar more interactive and more fun. So by the way, quick announcement. I want to let you know that the new version of FME 2020 is available today. It was released today, so you can download it. And for the new features, you can join the World Tours. Wherever you are, there's probably a World Tour stopping by in a city near you. For Consortec, we will be attending the one in Edmonton, Canada, Ottawa, Toronto, and the one in Halifax. And we're also hosting our own World Tours in Montreal and Quebec. But yeah, we're also going to be doing a workshop at Toronto and giving presentations of all the other World Tours. I think there's a lot of, there's a World Tour in every city. And also we're going to be posting a blog soon on our website and in the newsletter. The team's going to be picking all their favorite new features. And we're going to say a couple words on each one. So make sure to read that and to subscribe to our newsletter if it's not already done. Oh, and forgot to mention, but I got a surprise for you. So you better stay connected till the end of the webinar. Yeah, so there will be a surprise. So the presenter today is not me, it's Felix, and I'm not going to read this bio this time because it's the third or fourth webinar.
Third webinar.
Third webinar that Felix has given, so he doesn't need introduction anymore. You all know him. He's a GIS data integration consultant here at Consortec. So Felix, it's all yours. Have fun. Have a good webinar, guys, and don't forget to ask your questions.
Thank you, Marc-Olivier. All right, so for today, the agenda is a quick introduction on the FME platform. So for those of you who haven't attended our previous webinars, there's just 2 quick slides to present what FME is, in case you're not very familiar with the software. And then we'll dive into what are FME Server Apps, how they work, some use cases to get an idea, and a demo part, or should I say 2 demos or 2 examples of FME Server Apps. So most of you will probably know by this time what FME is, but we just get those 2 slides in case a new person joins us in that webinar. So the FME software comes in 3 different flavors. There's the FME desktop, which is like the base software in which we build the workflows, and we read, transform, and write our data. And then once we have a couple of workflows going, we can then upload them to FME Server or FME Cloud to orchestrate or arrange using different triggers and or schedules to automate our workflows and have them working in the background for us. The all goal of this is to eliminate manual effort of complex and repetitive tasks. So for today, we are talking about the FME Server Apps. So what are FME Server Apps? It's a new feature that arrived in FME Server 2019 that, of course, is being continued in FME 2020. So the goal of the apps on FME Server is to allow users without FME Server accounts to run a workspace. Because how it was done before, you needed an FME Server account to access the workspaces that were uploaded on FME Server. So if you wanted to run a process or download some data, you needed an account provided by your administrator. Now with apps, it's just a web link that is being shared that you can click, input the different parameters, and you're done. So why then should we use FME Server Apps? It's a quick share to external users, so there's no account, password, access management to work with, so it's less hassle for when we want to share the workspace with a group of different users. And it can also be used on your mobile device using the FME Data Express application.
Quick question, Felix. What exactly do you mean by external users? Like, who counts in this category?
That's a good question. So by external users, I mean external to FME Server. So usually we'll mention external users as users outside of the organization. But here in the slide, I just mean external users to FME Server. So it can be users that are internal to the organization, maybe non-GIS folks or non-IT folks that may or will benefit from the results of the workspace, but that don't have any idea of what FME is. Maybe they don't care, and we don't need to give them an account on FME Server. So in that case, apps is a good way to proceed because they just can click on the web link without registering. So external users mean only external to FME Server.
All right, thanks.
It was a good question. Thank you. So how does it work? So I mentioned it creates a shareable web link. So it's a URL. Then the validity of it is ensured by a token. So the permissions and the expiration date of that web link is managed by a token on the FME Server admin page. And then there's also a separate page or menu that will allow us to manage the rest of the configuration of FME of the app. So here's a quick screenshot of an app and how you see it on your browser here. So the user will only see the parameters, can fill in the information and click OK to run the workspace, and voila. That's it. Some use cases here. So in the case of information request, so an external user wants some information or download a data set, we can use the data download service of FME Server to, when we publish the workspace, and use the data download service in our app so that the people get returned a link to a zip file to download with the results of whatever they ask in the app, in the parameters. It can be also the other way around, when someone would like to submit a document using the job submitter service or data upload service. That's all in the background. But if someone wanted to upload a document to be used to update a database or fill in a request, something like that, that's a good use case also because again, it can be done by as many external users as we want. And then third use case, it could be using the FME Data Express. So for those of you who don't know, it's another novelty of FME 2019. It's an app on your mobile device which can reach FME Server apps and then work with them. So we'll see that in the demo, which I will start right now. I'll go to bring my FME Server page right up here on the screen. I'm logged in here, so how to create an app? I will go to Run Workspace. I'll select my app. I'll take a sample one from the FME Server installed. So from whenever you install FME Server, there's a samples repository with a bunch of workspace. The awesome download one works well for the demo using the data download service here. So what that workspace does, in case you haven't run it, it allows the user to select a layer of data to download. and select the output coordinate system, output format that they want, and they can also specify some boundary limits with the coordinates in X and Y. And we can specify then the search envelope coordinate system as well here. I'll leave the defaults for now, just for the sake of showing the app here. But the goal of this is to download a data set. So it's going to be airports and shapefile in that coordinate system here. And then if I want to run it on FME server, I would go to run here. But I want to create an app out of this workspace. So what I'll do is I'll go to advanced, click on open panel, and scroll down a little bit. And here's our a quick link here to create an FME server app. So I go here, I'll call it custom download. I think I'm at the 4th version for in preparation for here. So I've just typed in DD for data download. So that's the name of the app. Description is what the user will see on the web page. So tool to download data and choose, output format and coordinate system. Please fill in parameters. So that's the name, description, information about the workspace. We can already set up an expiration date. By default, it's a 10-year limit that it's being given. But if you wanted to have just a very specific time window for that app, you could shorten this using this little calendar that they provide here. Under parameters, you can select which parameters you'd like to show in the app. By default, they're all checked. We want them all checked for now. That's good. And you can also customize appearance. So if you want to select the title of the web page, a background color, heading image, an icon, etc., that can be set up here. For now, I'll just click OK. And that's it. Your FME Server app has been created. So this is the shareable URL being returned. It's mostly done of the address of your FME Server account, and then up to the name of the app itself. So how you share it? Well, you copy the link. There's a little button here, copy. And I'll just paste it into a new browser here that is not connected to my FME server. Paste this here. And the app is being returned. So I've got the name of the app, the description that I put here. I can select the layers I want to download, the format, coordinate system. I hit run. So I see it running just like as I would do online. And I get my data download URL. I can click and save wherever I want, here, like this here. So then I could extract everything. If I go back now to my FME server page, I could go to jobs completed to see that it ran successfully. Of course, we got the results, but just for admin purposes, we could see it has been run here by a source site. It's on server app. Completed, all good. If I want to see or go back to it, I would go to the server apps menu on the left-hand side, and here are all my apps. So this is, I think that was the 4th. It's actually the same. And I could change the parameters again here. For the token, it's in a different menu. So it's in the user settings, manage tokens, and then I have the one here for my latest app. And I can manage the different permissions that I want this token to do. For now, just run workspace. That's fine. And we'll keep it like that. Now, I wanted to show you also on the mobile device how it looks like in the FME Data Express. So I've got my cell phone mirrored to the screen here. I'll open FME Data Express. And in the menu here, we see FME Server Apps. And the way it works is if I click the little plus sign, I can paste the URL and type in an alias. So that would be like the alias of the name of the application to see. And I could use then the FME Server app. So I've already pasted the Austin download workspace here at the top. So I've got the same parameters here. I can hit run. I see my notification job submitted. I have another notification on the top here with the result URL to the zip file. So if I open it with Chrome, it asks me to download. I click open here at the bottom. There's a little, behind the watermark, there's a little button to extract. So I'm clicking on it. And I can see the results. So for now, I've outputted a shapefile. Not very mobile friendly, but you get the idea. If something more of a HTML based or maybe a picture was returned, then I could see it properly on the mobile device. That's interesting. Second example I wanted to show you, we'll have a better image on mobile. So I'll go here, okay. My colleague Patrick has built a workspace called Create Users for his workshop, and what it does is that the user fill in information, so full name, email address, they are optional, and password of the workshop in order to create FME server users accounts for his workshop. So not to get confused, but he used that workspace. He sent the link of the app to his participants, and they could fill in information, and then the users would be generated on FME server. He could also drop in an Excel spreadsheet with all the information in here as well. So I'll just show you essentially how it looks like in the app. So again, I will go to Advanced and create an FME Server app here, which I've already done. So if I go back here, it's Create User here. Number 3, DS stands for data streaming. So the result is streamed back to the web page or the mobile here. So please enter username and email address to create an FME server. I just want to show you quickly customer appearance. So if I click here, the title, create user, some background color. I have an image, not too far that I could share. I'll put that little guy here. It's gonna be funny. Click OK. I'll copy and paste the link in my other browser so you can see it here. And it's a bit too big, but you get the idea of what you can do.
Why is that emoticon that you have?
I don't know. I just wanted to be quick and get it. It was actually for a previous webinar. See if you can find which webinar this little guy here.
I don't know.
So there it is. And so I'll type in here full name. So I'll just type in Felix. Felix L. I think I'll just use a different number to be, because I believe I've already been created. I'll hit run, and I should get, here's the result here. So just full name, username has been created, email address, status, green mark, which means my new user has been done. Now, if I go to mobile here, I'll go back to my FME Data Express, to my Create User app. And again, fill in the information. Oops. I don't know if you saw this, but I'd like to show something nice about the Data Express is, since it's mobile based, for any input file parameters, quote unquote, if I click on it, I can use files from my mobile device, but also take a picture or upload a picture that I've already taken as the input parameters. So think of all the possibilities that can happen with that tool. So if we wanted to report an incident and send a picture, we could do it using the Data Express. And then, of course, we need a workspace to be able to process that image and maybe save it or add it somewhere precisely. But that's really interesting. So I just wanted to give a little note on that. So if I hit run now, job submitted, all right, runs fast. So I go see, oops. I return, oops. Oh, it's the bad one. I'll make a quick correction right now. What is my path here? It's create user DS3. So I'll do a live fix for you guys. Change the URL.
Now this emoticon makes perfect sense. While they're waiting and they're only
they're not
the problem. They're
not seeing the mobile right now. DS3 should be the proper one now. Felix, I'll just put test at consort tech. Hit run. Okay, open it on Chrome. So now I have my result stream. The result was an HTML report. So now it makes sense to view it on mobile device, not like the shapefile as before. So this is the second example. So think of the different possibilities that can be done. Again, it's very simple to set up. You can have as many apps as you want. You manage them through the Server Apps menu here and the token right there. You can use it to share it with users outside of the organization or inside the organization. The key takeaway on this is that you don't need to create a user account on FME Server for whoever you want to share the workspace with. So that's neat and that's interesting. So I'll get back to my PowerPoint here to follow up with the end of this webinar.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Felix. Thank you for this. And as we told you guys, this was a bit of a shorter webinar. So make sure you join us for our next webinar on the REST API on April 15th. And as I promised at the beginning of the webinar, I got a surprise for you. And yeah, here it is. So bonus episode. So we figured that at this point, when you have done with the 7 episodes, you guys will be real experts in FME Server, and you may be wondering, all right, so now what do I do with all this information? So we're gonna build a webinar with all the success stories of the project made in FME Server. So in the last year. So the point of this is giving you ideas of how to use your new skills acquired in FME Server. So it will be a bit of a resume of all the episodes so far. So yeah, make sure you're available on May 13th, same place, same time, online. So we're gonna stick around again a minute or two. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask Felix? Or questions that you want to ask me too about things. Marketing stuff, yeah. It can be about this episode, it can be about previous episodes. Again, don't hesitate if you have any questions. Now is the time. You have Felix available for you.
You also have our email addresses there, so if you think about something else in the future, you can email to me. Reach me directly or to Marc Olivier about excuse me, any questions you may have had on this webinar or previous webinars. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
Yeah, and if you want to share, the webinar with your co-workers, I sent the link in the Q&A section. So make sure you watch the recordings or share them. All right. So no question for this episode. Last call. We got something. Thank you.
Nice. You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed this series. It's always a pleasure to see you guys such a big attendance every episode. So looking forward to see you next month.